to the Clerk of Parliament, Honorable Paran Tarawale, how this happened. Although the APC party we want from the APC MP them, we want for make MP them debate this constitutional instrument. Well, we will get the view of civil society on this issue. This plus other interview will come to you inside the program inside Parliament this morning. Well, for can help me discuss this morning inside the program, we get first now the studio the Executive Director for Citizens Advocacy Network, CAN, we na Thomas Conteh. Good morning and welcome to the program inside Parliament.
Good morning and thank you for having me here.
Okay, well, we expect the Clerk of Parliament, Honorable Paran Tarawale, we can tell we how the constitutional instruments them turn law, although the APC MP them being get different opinion about this. Then of course we also expect the Member of Parliament for constituency 46, when the chairman for the Legislative Committee in Parliament, Honorable Daniel Kuruma, himself go can tell we waiting a think about this issue as in one of the MP we've been team up for move motions, a member them of Parliament for discuss the constitutional instruments them when 64 and 65 we get for do with the Commission of Inquiry with government want for setup. Well, they go straight to the program. I want to apologize for where we come late, but we push the program go before they go now. Of course, as the Clerk of Parliament don't say the constitutional instruments them 64 and 65 where the Attorney General and Minister of Justice in office been going in Parliament don't turn law after they don't take 21 days in Parliament. The APC party been pull press release where then talk say them no go accept some of the issue them where they inside this constitutional instrument. Well, for that so let we look what's been happen before this all issue being come na the public limelight.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I stand on SO 18 and in tandem with section 170, subsection 7.
You listen to the voice of the Member of Parliament where they represent constituency 46 na Koinadugu district, Honorable Daniel Kuruma, Thursday, August 2nd, as he be try for give notice of motion to the constitutional instrument 64 and 65 where the Deputy Attorney General and Minister of Justice Bengole na the well of Parliament the same day.
I hereby give notice that paragraphs 1 and 2 of item 3 as stated on the other paper be debated.
This notice of motion where Honorable Daniel Kuruma be one make mean say he want to make member them of Parliament debate this constitutional instrument we get for do with the Commission of Inquiry where government want for set up for look inside allegation them where they inside the governance transition team reports where government been pull na do this BNTM. But the Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Dr. Abbas Bundu, been say Honorable Daniel Kuruma not use the correct standing order for do so and he been asked him for taking seat back.
Standing Order 18 deals with the procedure that must be followed for the laying of papers and constitutional and statutory instruments. It says the laying of papers, treaties, agreements, and constitutional and statutory instruments involves the delivery to the office of the clerk of sufficient copies thereof for distribution to members of Parliament. Now, SO 25 deals with notice of motion, and that is what the honorable member tried to do, to give this House notice of a motion, and that notice falls within the four corners of SO 25 1C. I'm afraid you are out of time.
This will make the leader of the main opposition APC party in Parliament, Honorable Chernoba, self been tin up and try for defense say Honorable Daniel Kuruma been tin up on the correct standing order for make this notice of motion, but the Speaker not been agree.
Mr. Speaker, for the records, SO 18 is what is applicable, sir. 25 deals with exceptions, and this is not an exception. This is a specific instrument. It is not an exception. Under 25, all that has been listed are exceptions when the provisions are not being made for them in the standing orders. But in this case, there is a provision under SO 18, sir.
I'm afraid your interpretation differs from mine, Mr. Leader of Opposition, and I maintain the decision that I have made.
As you hear, even the leader of the main opposition APC party in Parliament, Honorable Chernoba, not been able to save Honorable Daniel Kuruma for making a chance for make a notice of motion for the constitutional instrument where the Deputy Attorney General and Minister of Justice been going at the well of Parliament Thursday, August 2nd. But Honorable Daniel Kuruma been go on and writes letter to the Clerk of Parliament for move the motion say he wants to make member them of Parliament debate the constitutional instrument where the Attorney General in office been go late na Parliament. But waiting the Clerk of Parliament, Honorable Paran Tarawali think about this.
Daniel Kuruma knows say by SO 25 speaker na the only authority in this country we get right for rule on notice of motion, and speaker been don rule say they out of order. So in fact for even go ahead for do a notice for submitting to the clerk in office is out of place.
This make the Clerk of Parliament, Honorable Paran Tarawali say, after 21 days, the constitutional instrument 64 and 65 of 2018 will turn law.
Mr. Speaker don't ask me by SO 25(3) for make I respond to Daniel Kuruma. So I am now informing Honorable Daniel Kuruma in writing that Mr. Speaker don't rule on a notice of motion, and therefore no further action from him can be entertained. Now 21 days, so they may lay on the 3rd, and therefore by the 23rd it will automatically become law, and as Clerk of Parliament I get the authority for issue a certificate to that effect.
This make Radio Democracy turn the mic to the main opposition APC party for no waiting and think but this issue. Honorable Ibrahim Ben Kabo, now the acting leader na Parliament.
The counting is going to start from the date we will give them the second motion in writing. At the day that the counting start. And we are going to assume that the day we will correspond to when we go back to the well of Parliament, and right day the counting will start. Because there is controversy. Up to this point, controversy. The instrument itself is not proper yet. You cannot just lay an instrument and walk out and you think you have a law. It has to be accepted by Parliament, especially the majority of members of the Parliament. We are not going to accept this until we make sure that everything is proper, because we are also representing people here.
I've been carrying on for ask Honorable Ibrahim Ben Kabo why the APC party get this kind of interest by these constitutional instruments, and if not so because it gets something for do with the past APC government.
Well, that is not true at all. We are there big out of principles. Now they pursue. But also you also see anything with the ASL people being there from open parliament to the detriment of we young respectability among members of who they support them. Because we don't see some of the things when they bring, most of them they bring are correct things. But now we are talking about an instrument which we think say for the very first time we should challenge.
So what's in this instrument we una for challenge?
First of all, the procedure, the business of even providing evidence, and all of these other things. These are very, very critical matters which must be looked into. You know, they bring this very important document, put her under the table, and you think, says, oh, let us not debate her. Not if I tell whether for debate or not. We are members of Parliament. We are also part and parcel of the governance of the state.
Well, that's na Honorable Ibrahim Ben Kabo, we na the deputy leader of the main opposition na the APC party na Parliament as he be the end that report there. Usai say them want to make member them of Parliament debate the constitutional instruments them 64 and 65 of 2018 where the Attorney General in office bingole na Parliament, and this na something we be don't happen to 3 weeks back. Well, recent developments na the fact say according to this Clerk of Parliament, the two constitutional instruments, them 64 and 65, don't become law as they don't take more than 21 days na Parliament after way they be don't go lead them. Well, this be making democracy being talked to the APC party hierarchy as the Secretary General of the APC party, Ambassador Usman Fude Yansane, talk to we reporter Mangi Mansare, but we didn't think about this as they been pull press release we then condemn the fact say then constitutional instruments here don't become law. Listen to this interview.
The party don't issue a press release saying that the procedure where the minority party in parliament, the SLPP, want for bulldoze the setting up of commissions of inquiry is not acceptable. It's not acceptable because the constitutional instrument that they talk about now 64 and 65 now we know about. If you put any instrument on the table of parliament, if no member of parliament not ask for a debate, after 21 days, it will become law. We accept that. And from the onset, let me tell the public, say, APC no they against the setting up of commissions of inquiry. We know they against that. But if then commissions of inquiry for become credible, the only institution we get the power for make laws, even if not delegated legislation, not parliament. So parliament has not been given the right by law for let them debate this instrument way day before them. Then do it on the second day of August, knowing quite well that now that same day, parliament they go on recess.
The clerk of parliament and the speaker, they all say the member will bring the motion. Now they wrong standing order a quote. What you go say with regards to that?
They not read the man in notice of motion. If they read an Honorable Daniel Brima Kuruma say under SO 18.8, but he also called section 177 of the 1991 Constitution, Act number 6 of 1991, that in the inform Parliament of his intention for filing a notice of motion. It can this go na the clerk of Parliament on this same date, the 3rd of August. The clerk acknowledged receipt of that document day, but they still go ahead and say, then they overrule. The speaker not only overruled the MP concerned, he overruled the majority leader in the parliament. We not accept we not just opposition leader. We leader in the parliament, not the majority leader. Now fact, who say we get 68 seats in the parliament, we not get 49, then you still recall we say we not just opposition. We are the majority leader and with the camp on that. How would they do them? The convoluted method would they use for impose the speaker on us, we are going to fight in the courts now.
The speaker turn the decision for me then debate that document day. Then after the required date, it becomes law. So waiting the party go do.
In the first place, as far as then concerned, the 3rd of August, the first time we then want do this thing, now the second, the man rise up for talk on the issue, then put him down. Then the man go ahead on the 3rd, when a Friday, and at that Friday then they take leave. What you make them come on Friday now because they get unfinished business for approved nominees of the president. Otherwise, now that same Friday they not even come. Then, as far as they concerned, the 2nd of August, when a Thursday, and where Parliament for start the recess, Sanada, they not date. This now is a repetitious way of putting these important documents where they affect the lives of people. Them very senior people in this country. You get for try them. Why you not make them open? Let them debate them. When they debate them, even people that way they outside, then get right for contribute. And that debate they through them representatives. So you can't. You say no. Nobody not for talk about this thing.
Well, some aspect of the press release way I will go through. It's as if the party go now the Supreme Court for interpretation. How to that be?
Very, very correct. Very, very correct. What you make? We take this decision. Now this radio 98.1. The clerk categorically be state that the instrument they become law on the 23rd, which was yesterday. If you don't say that, you don't call with attention. We will not get no written correspondence from them in response to what the Honorable don't ask for. The Honorable say, we not accept what they are there. Otherwise, me they send back an amended version of me notice of motion, an amended version. Submit this on the 7th of August. This time, he quote SO 25.6, 18.8, 25.2, 28.3, and the 1991 Constitution Act number 6 of 1991, section 177. This is not the Constitution we they make. Parliament their way for regulating itself. But we also believe, say, the superior law na the land, na the Constitution. And the only authority for interpreting, na the Supreme Court. Na make we say they go there. But also on the 9th of August, the Member of Parliament, they also sent a request that within 14 days, under SO 4, 3B2 and Section 86(2) of the 1991 Constitution, the big Constitution, then prepare them, then sign them by members of parliament. Then sign them because 20% of members of parliament. If they sign within 14 days, wait, and the speaker for call parliament. But you know what? The 14 days don't expire on the 23rd yesterday. And the third constitutional provisions, we say under 86(2), you supposed to call parliament. You know the call parliament. Take the parliament no come. Then if the man, when at the clerk, tell the whole world say 23rd, this instrument don't become law, then make we say the best option for us now to go to the Supreme Court, let them interpret.
Well, that's now the Secretary General of the APC party, Ambassador Usman Fude Yansane, as he end the interview day with we reporter Mange Mansare, as he talk about what the APC party think, but we, according to the Clerk of Parliament, Honorable Parantarawale, the constitutional instrument 64 and 65 of 2018, where the Attorney General and Minister of Justice in office, Bengolina Parliament, August 2nd this year, don't turn to law. Well, the program is still listening inside Parliament, and they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. At this time, we want to welcome na the studio Honorable Parantarawale, we na the Clerk of Parliament. Good morning and welcome to the program Inside Parliament.
Thank you very much and good morning to the people of Sierra Leone.
Okay, as we not get much time, of course, we the state go to you, Honorable Parantarawale, as plenty people want to get the confirmation as a man still lead out if the two constitutional instruments, them 64 and 65, with the Attorney General in office, Bengole na Parliament August 2nd, don't turn law, as you been said the last time, say the 23rd of this month, then go turn law. Just confirm if that don't happen, sir.
Thank you very much. You know, most times you get different procedures for follow for make things happen. And the parliament way me, the speaker and the other leaders in the run, na a procedural parliament. Anything they do, they follow procedures very strictly. The constitution and the standing orders, and everyone bore people there with quotations, but clear about that we lay any instrument on the table of parliament within 21 days from the day layer, they begin count. The way they be the 21st day, they become law. But there is something else to that the clerk go issue a certificate. We will confirm finally saying a law. I just want to confirm now, say that certificate is yet to be issued. I not issued that certificate yet. So the process is still on. And by God in power, I do work on it. So,
become law. The two constitutional instruments, them way the Attorney General and Minister of Justice in office begin the second, they not become law, right?
Well, I don't want to delve into whether I don't become law or not. I just want to say by procedure, I for finally issue a certificate for make it call an now law, and that certificate is yet to be issued.
Even though you not get the certificate yet, but inside interview I've been doing with you, you say after the 23rd of this month, of course, then the 25th of August, plenty of people want to know if you still stand by what you've been talking, say the instrument then for become law after the 23rd of August.
I don't tell you, I say by procedure, when you lay an instrument, you do Conteh the 21st day, it becomes law. This is not a way they change. It's not a change at all, because at the end of the day, na procedure will go by, and we'll get two principal books the way they guide we na parliament. You get the constitution and the supreme law of the land, they get the standing orders when they regulate parliament. And all two then documents here, they point to the fact that any instrument, be it a constitutional instrument, be it a statutory instrument, be it a report, etc. As long as you go and lay on at the table of parliament, then they begin the count. And if it's 21 days, the clerk by law can issue a certificate. And once that certificate is issued, automatically, because when you issue the certificate, you direct the certificate to the post where you can lay the instrument. And once the post where you can lay the instrument or receive the certificate, automatically it don't strike as a law.
Let's take you back. With the Attorney General in office, of course, the Deputy Attorney General been going to lay this constitutional instrument. We've been see the Member of Parliament, of course, with the represent Constituency 46, Honorable Daniel Kuruma, being grabbed and being tried for give a notice of motion for make Member of Parliament then debate the constitutional instruments. We mean say when once a Member of Parliament don't grab for move give notice of motion, and not just go take the 21 days according to procedure, but then for look inside that particular constitutional instrument there before it become law. Member of Parliament therefore debate them. Then this don't become a concern from plenty people say it not just become law. So, but in as much as a Member of Parliament don't say them for debate them, the procedure where you say them for just go if I just go for the 21 days and become law, you know all again, you know all water again.
Okay, you know, are they are purposely for educate the public, for now know exactly how Parliament they operate and how laws then in this country they operate. Now two ways they make law in a Parliament. And let the people of Sierra Leone carefully listen to me. You get the one way where you call bills. Bills, the intention of every bill now for debater and pass on through the stages for may become law. So that now one core stage and now one of the principal methods and that's how they pass law. You put that into bill, either a private member bill where a member of parliament can bring or a government bill where they come from the government. And where it come, we get all the stages. You get the first reading, second reading, you get committee stage, you get report stage, you get third reading, they get passage into law.
This will talk about a constitutional
And they
instrument.
come, you pass it into law. That now bills. Now one way that's how they pass law. You get the second way where Parliament they pass law, where then they call constitutional or statutory instruments. Whereas the first law, the intention are for debater and passer into law. The second set way, what they call constitutional or statutory instrument. The intention not for debater at all. Now this a set of law where law already don't differ. So in other words, let me come. Probably if you give me time, I give the correct information, the people go lay plenty apprehensions to rest. The first law, that's where they make from scratch. This second type of law I tell you about, constitutional and statutory instrument. What to make them they call a constitutional or statutory instrument. Now because the constitution don't make law on already. Now only regulations you they make out of that big law we already in the constitution. Not a new law you they make. In other words, if the constitution say if you thief, then for investigate you, that law don't in the constitution already. So if you can you make a constitutional instrument, say they set a body for investigate you, the law is already there in the constitution. So this now basically given effect, given strength to law we already exist. Not a new law you they make per se. So when you call it a constitutional or statutory instrument, the first one as a constitutional instrument because they get invalidity from the constitution. The second one they call it a statutory instrument because they get invalidity from statute law or what we call acts of parliament. So this second set of law, the intention, the principal intention not to for debater.
Now for do it in
now for just
parliament.
Because now the procedure say because law they already where they govern this, make regulation for give that law where they already effect. However, we make this regulation because the constitution said that parliament now the sole law-making body we make the regulation still can lay on a parliament.
So they not
because that gives it the effect that na parliament make.
So they not give any space na the constitution say we then go then kind lawyer na parliament for debate or member of parliament for debate.
Make a calm. Stop la make a calm. Make a like how they go so just allow me small time. I said the first set of law with our bills, the principal intention are for debate them for become law. The statutory and constitutional instrument, the principal intention now for me then give validity to the bills so they don't become acts or the constitution. So in effect, parliament not they debate them.
Not for debate.
However, not they debate them. However, where that particular statutory or constitutional instrument touch very strongly on a member of parliament. For Sierra Leone Parliament, the standing orders and the constitution say any member of parliament can get right for standing and say this, although they're lawyer not for debate, but because this is so touch me, I want to debate. Now right.
So there is space for lay then debate in parliament.
Yes, now right. But the intent, the principal intent, not to for debater, because I already get law when are the principal law. But if a member so feel passionate about her and he feels say one made a debater, he get right for rise and say made a
member be don't grab na parliament say he feel passionate for making debate then constitutional instrument them so, but according to waiting we get now that parliament not get a chance for make this emotion we want for move for leading debate parliament not be get a chance for make that happen, even though you say it get right according to law for do that. Waiting be happen.
Okay, I tell you say parliament is a procedural parliament. You we don't go parliament plenty tell you they see say anytime member rise na parliament for talk, it grab on something. So for example, if I grab on say I grab on SO poto making, then the talk while they talk na SO painting, speaker may allow me for proceed. Because the standing orders where I grab on na SO poto making. So anything where they talk around, it will be around poto making. So in effect, if me grab now, I say I want me then debate. The constitution, the standing order is very clear. You get a particular section of the standing orders, what they call SO 25. And SO 25, what in they do? In say anybody we want make give a motion, you get for give notice. In other words, if I want eat, I get for tell me papa say I want eat. Then I the notice before I proceed for go eat. So if I not tell me papa say I want eat, standing order say I no go eat. So if I not tell papa say I want eat, I just grab go take the food I eat. Now wrong procedure. So the correct procedure is I for grab first and tell papa say I want eat. So now the same thing happen. When you rise that parliament for a particular for give notice, no standing order not there inside the SOs where they cover you if you ain't give notice, if not to SO 25. Okay, but what happened? The honorable member grab on SO 18. And make I just give you the difference between 18 and 25. SO 18 in the deal purely with laying of papers. How you for lay paper, waiting at the procedures for follow, how you for give copies to clerk, for make clerk distributor. Now they only don't tell you. However, if they debate, if they distribute them particular papers, then you want give notice for make them debater. You know they rise on 18 because 18 only they give you how you they distribute or how you they lay them papers. But for give notice na SO 25. So that day where the member of parliament grab, he say in rise on SO 18. Well and good, speaker taking standing orders. He watch waiting at SO 18. So if you say you rise on SO 18, the only thing for doing a parliament now for take paper and layer.
Okay.
If you rise on SO 18, we only give you authority for take paper and layer. Then you go give notice, you rise on the wrong SO. And because he rise on the wrong SO, speaker rule.
Okay.
And mind you, make I just tell this country one thing. Not to mimic the law, not to mimic the constitution. Constitution very clear about it. For rule on procedures na parliament, no court na this land, not even the Supreme Court, no get authority over but the speaker.
Okay, we come back to you in name na Honorable Pagan Tarawali. We na the Clerk of Parliament as they are so this morning for talk about issue them we get for do with the constitutional instruments them 64 and 65 with the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice in office been going to Parliament we according to them for don't become law. Although make them clear it if you don't get he say get the certificate way for make it become law. We still look inside the issue. Of course, we're gonna have the studio. Thomas Conteh, we na the executive director for Citizens Advocacy Network. Himself, an organization, don't they look inside this issue and of course don't write letter to the Speaker of Parliament say. And they want to make a member of parliament discuss the constitutional instruments them we get for do this commission of inquiry with government want for set up. Thomas Conteh, welcome again to the program inside parliament.
Welcome and thank you for having me.
So why make your organization think say member them of parliament for discuss or debate the constitutional instruments them before them become law, although according to the clerk of parliament they're not going for debate them again because the member of parliament now being grabbed on the right standing order? Why you think say member them of parliament for debating constitutional instruments before them become law?
Yeah, well, let me preface my answer by firstly establishing the fact that Citizens Advocacy Network CAN, an organization we believe for promote issues of democratic good governance and the rule of law. And as an organization, we don't do work diligently and fearlessly. We don't follow happenings within the parliament. Since the day we parliament start, we side and get disagreement as to who for call parliament, who for call parliament, on to the point we then get halala for who for be speaker, who for be speaker, till we get policeman and go inside it desecrate the sanctity of parliament, on to the point where in appointments and come, we see how they also go with against procedures and what have you. We don't become concerned. As an organization, we believe say parliament get a key role for play for checkmate the excesses of the executive and the other arm of government. We don't see parliament don't falter in their duty, and rather they don't become more political in the way they do things. You see the high tensions within parliament, APC, SLPP, this, that, and they help this country. Parliament now the only institution in this country we get all political parties they represented, or get people from different facets of society represented with different orientations, and they all get a duty for represent the people of this country through their constituencies that they represent. Let me come now to the issue we talk about. We write a letter to the Speaker of Parliament because we believe say for table a statutory instrument we get for do with the lives, the integrity and credibility of people we don't be named for be investigated, get a lot for do with the country as a whole. The peace of this country, the security of this country, the cohesion of this country also depend on some of them processes there. So you go agree with me that the causes of the rebel war are because certain people and say they deny them their right for discuss issues, then be marginalize them, then be take advantage by them, and because of that they feel aggrieved and go to bush and take gun and cause havoc in this country. Now so it starts small, and we believe say parliament for be an institution we not for be corrupt. Corruption not to just when and give money, or you give money to person for make it give advantage, but when you play with the rules, you play with processes, you play with procedures for benefit you against other person, it is corruption at the highest degree of corruption. And we see and say, except somebody want for be hypocrite with himself, you see corruption in the activities and the administration of the
member of parliament.
Now, why I feel say members of parliament for debate this constitutional
even
instrument?
Though according to
why I not want for draw
parliament don't go again, don't use the wrong SO.
Yes, I don't want for go into being, I don't want for be judgmental. I don't want for be judgmental on whether the member of parliament we stand on the standing order was wrong for quote. It was a quotation, just a mere quotation, or whether it be correct. Now I'm making a point, you understand? But let me firstly tackle one thing with the clerk say, that when they present a statutory instrument in a parliament, not for debate, and that it can go without being debated. There is no reason for them to take that document to the parliament. If not for let parliamentarians they look into the issues they were inside that document today, and look at waiting at the good things they were inside it, and endorse them or pull the bad things they inside it. And there is no reason for them to ask for let the document today 21 days in the parliament before it become law. If not for give parliamentarians then ample time for look into the document and look at the document thoroughly for see waiting and will pick out of the document and then debate on them. Therefore, don't just pass that document the same day they can go. If not to be for let them give the parliamentarians a reason for debate. But the law say you forgive 21 days before it passed into law. You know why? Because they want to give parliamentarians, the people's representative, the opportunity for able to look into the document within that 21 days and able to bring out whatever issues they get to that document today and let them make it for table so that when they go out it become a thorough document. One of the things that we see Leone as a whole is that we constitution get a lot of problems. You know why we constitution get a lot of problems? Now because of their rush business here, so they go into. Because of politics, people at certain point in time want for take advantage of the situation for make them pass certain things them where at the end of the day it gets a rippling effect on the nation. Now in section 86 subsection 2 of the 1991 constitution, it gives parliamentarians then the opportunity for call the speaker in attention or for raise a motion on an issue related to the things they are so. And when you do that, you need for do them in writing through the clerk in office. When you do that, the clerk for inform the speaker of parliament, and within 14 days, therefore table that document for debate, wherein that member of parliament gets support of at least 29 members of parliament. And based on we findings, the member of parliament will rise. Now let me make this very clear before we go forward. For Grapna Parliament and raise a motion that Mr. Speaker, this document they don't raise, I get issue with them, I want to look into them issue A, B, and C. Now just one of the steps where a parliamentarian will take for able to ask for and debate them. But a more important step the way a parliamentarian will take, because even if you talk about parliament, you talk about the well of parliament, like how they talk and so they say it quote the wrong quotation. If you don't left and so, you don't write them down. Let it go down record, say, this is what Honorable Blah said. And this is the motion of Honorable Blah to the clerk in office. The motion will not be considered.
But
so in this case, the honorable member,
according to the clerk of parliament, if you do with the right procedure.
Okay, now let's agree. Now let's agree that the honorable member
to get that not happen.
Let's agree that the honorable member did make the wrong quotation. Let's agree for the sake of argument. Don't already say he did the wrong quotation. Let's agree. But there is a provision also we say you need for write the clerk of parliament. In a case wherein you get an issue within 21 days. Before the 21 days done, you write the office of the clerk, informing the clerk that I have issues with this document where I want to discuss, and because of this, I want to bring this to your knowledge. Now the clerk will inform the speaker, and the speaker now with the clerk then will get a reason for call parliament within 14 days. And that is if now in a case wherein parliament they on recess, they can't be done on recess so. Where Boku people in say then decide for call this document because they know say they go on recess, so that by the time they come, the recess then the document go on pass. Which is something we need to look into. As civil society, we feel say we need to look into the issues there. So you know why? The commission of inquiry for be seen, for be free, fair, and free from political ghost story from the start of it. From the time when they make the foundation. If the foundation of the commission of inquiry is weak, the tendency for anything to come out of the commission of inquiry, doubt them, or any reasonable scenario doubt them, it is. Because if they see that they begin to play, you see arguments they come, this they feel say, this they feel say that. If the laws don't say, let this document be tabled for debate, and there are procedures. Procedure A, you can grab the parliament and make your statement. Okay. If you never make your statement at parliament, you can do them in writing. Now, when you do it in writing, if the parliament there in recess, you will also ask that the parliament come, like how they do for the case of the anti-corruption boss. During the time for endorse the anti-corruption boss, parliament was on recess. Parliament we don't break. Okay. Then it's time for call parliament urgently for let them pass on because a member of parliament asked that them pass that particular appointment today, then they go debate in parliament. In this case, this honorable member don't ask that they call parliament within the period already on recess. According to a document I get here, so he writes to the clerk. That not come up onto this point. Okay. Well, and we should say it is wrong. We want to ask that the clerk, thank God I did with the clerk also. He's somebody who is very honorable. He has been a very vibrant person within the past dispensation. He was a honorable member of parliament. This got to do with the nation. It got to do with the well-being of that poor person. We don't even understand what's a statutory instrument. Whilst we applaud the idea of having a commission of inquiry for look into the issues of corrupt officials, Whilst we want for let this government nail anybody who don't be corrupt, let them pull all the money where they don't thief. We also want for guide them that in the process of doing it, let them do them freely, fairly.
Okay.
Because you don't want this country for degenerating to a situation where people will accept whatever come out of it, and it will cause chaos.
Okay, thank you. In name na Thomas Conteh, we na the executive director for Citizens Advocacy Network. Not forget the program you listen to na Inside Parliament, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. You can be part of the program by way how you go send text message to the number 077-981-981. Well, we get the Clerk of Parliament here. We na Honorable Pagan Tarawale. Of course, you don't hear within from a civil society point of view, within Thomas Conteh don't say we get for do with the Commission of Inquiry and the constitutional instruments them. You get any reaction for make to us with it or for clarify any issues where you make?
Simple, you know. I just the doubt and wonder outside Thomas More been there during the 4th Parliament, where then lay the statutory instrument where they deal with the candidature fee. If it been there Sierra Leone, then I wonder what he been do on that. Because this was the same thing where they happen, now happen. And me we sit down now me rise on SO25, give notice, valid notice. I do my motion, I go submit and to Clerk. At the end of the day, we came to the well and speaker ruled me out. I wonder how you been there. I wonder what you really been do. You see, Saturday time would always they say, when they say justice, it will be applicable to every manner of man in the same way. If yesterday been there, now then here they happen, you know, shout. I wonder why they shout
so
now.
Because that's be happening.
No, let me come. Wait, I just they bring out issues. Okay, Mr. Thomas More Conteh we deny now. The Allah say then for debater and then for debater. Who say you been there where you know be holla?
No, well,
say wait for me. Who say you been there?
This is the fallacy of Tutoki.
Wow.
The fallacy of Tutoki the commit so.
Just allow Amle making point. Then
unfortunately, you know, Saturday time where people they talk like they listen to each other.
Yes, yes.
Now discourse no argument.
Continue. You
This
can carry on and
fine.
respond.
Who say you really been there? Where me be rise on the correct standing orders. No, let me come. Wait,
this is the problem.
No, let me come.
This is the problem.
Not build me premise. Who say you been there? Secondly, you assert say then wait till where Parliament they go on recess. Who say you been there where them bring redistricting? Where they lay 1 day before Parliament they go on recess. Where it become law. Where we are?
See this point, you need to go further.
Where are you? The people need to know.
No, we need to go further. This is not about Thomas.
You should be sincere.
No, this is not about Thomas.
You should be sincere in whatever you they do in life.
Exactly.
Yeah, and sincerity now in the guide whatever thing would they do on earth.
One for us.
Okay. No.
After the last
let me come.
now.
I not tell you say it
was
now. I only they tell you say the civil society activist. When they say activism, it's energy.
Let's talk about the civil society.
Society activism. Let me come. The civil society activism, we don't become so gravitated and vegetated today. Where we are there, where all let you. I'll tell you one thing. It's just too simple. Yeah. They say waiting not correct. Nippon from the start. I'd been a civil society activist for 15 years, and for 15 years, where you wrong. If you been wrong yesterday, you know Nippon.
So if you continue for being wrong.
No, if you been wrong yesterday, you know Nippon.
If you continue for being wrong.
For me, if you been wrong yesterday, you know Nippon. You know what you do? You are an accomplice. You are an accomplice. Because it will go wrong now because you don't take action yesterday. I just bring the issue under sincerity. Now, let us come. Now, I just want to note something very strong. They talk about then Parliament get right for debates, statutory and constitutional instrument. Then first and foremost, I want to make Mr. More Conteh and I understand something. Parliament not a secondary school debate. When they say Parliament a procedural debate, it get all in rules the way they guide them. When they say statutory or constitutional instrument, all will understand this. Parliament no get no authority, no power for change A or B on any constitutional or statutory instrument. I want you just understand. say this then generally they not meant for be debated. Because you dey debate for make amends, you dey debate for make review. But by the constitution, by the standing orders, parliament, we don't call it standing orders, it not get right for cross T or dot I. So even though I get authority for make law, but statutory instrument they call and say it were bulletproof. It were bulletproof.
So why you been the last? You say you been move a motion for later debate the district thing, and why you say be move a motion where you know for say enough for be debated?
That's it. So because I been no say why move this motion, would they bring them up, and people go get opportunity for talk on them. Now make I bring them up. So equally this one, if the honorable member be really stand on the correct standing orders, me with team up now, I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'm not against debating this. And they assure you back. And they make them clear like Sierra Leone understand this. I'm not against debating this particular constitutional instrument. But just for like people understand something. This particular constitutional instrument, where they can lay. If you want make the annul them, in other words, you know how like take effect. You know anything that happen? Now 2/3 of every member of parliament. Now they vote for annul them. Now they vote for kick them out. Okay? Any issue we raise on them. Now 2/3 majority now you require.
So
for make any decision safe, make anybody think about decision. So that make what I tell you say constitutional instruments and they were bulletproof and they talk out of ignorance. And they tell you waiting make them they bring constitutional statutory instrument. Parliament the world over. This not a thing where unique to Sierra Leone. The one whole world where they say constitutional or statutory instruments, then they meant for just support law where already they exist. This is not a new laws there.
One debate we don't come at the fact say the issue of a commission of inquiry and this constitutional instrument, it deal with very strong issues them. Integrity of people, the lives of
Then the executive, it's not about parliament.
It got for do with them. So it means it's very important and enough for just go so they not debate them, we make them they go learn at parliament. And if it goes so they be as a ticking time bomb where according to people we don't analyze say they get for bring come some amount of
okay. Mr. Blah, let make something clear.
For debate them.
Let make something clear. Make a hammer and back. Whether they bring this statutory instrument for set up a commission of inquiry or not, there's already a law to that effect. Understand this. This is not new law. They only bring this for show you the procedure, how they want to go about for set the commission of inquiry. But setting up a commission of inquiry is part of the constitution of Sierra Leone. It is embedded in the constitution. Nobody know the question that. Now only the rules how you want to go about and then they just write na paper can lay. So that it give validity to what in the constitution already say. This is not new law. So whether we lay this would debate them from Genesis to Revelation in anything in that constitution, because the constitution don't say the president. It is clearly in the constitution. The president get the right for set up a commission of inquiry to any subject matter in this state.
The issue that
so
is that when they talk against for setting up of the commission, of course now the procedure. Like the MP them or the APC party, according to them, think say them for look inside, in as much as they agree say them for set up a commission, but the procedures for be looked into and guide.
Not to we they set up the procedures. In fact, the court get your rules. You get rules of evidence, rules of interpretation, etc. Where they use generally. These are not new things. For example, somebody may make an argument the other day. The Commission of Inquiry not make any rules of evidence. Who told you that they make new rules of evidence? The court already has one. So any way they apply rules of evidence, that is what they apply to her. So this is not new thing. Now we left this thing like saying a new thing they come. It's not new thing. Parliament get right for later in 21 days, they become law. But make I just give you some verifying thing. This country, law na law. They say the law is what the law is. The law is not what the law ought to be.
Okay.
Therefore, if they say this is not the procedure, you not follow her. If they talk about democracy, democracy is a rule of law. A rule of law now following the law to its letter. So because somebody not follow law, then you not get advantage because he breached that law. Not to democracy.
Okay.
Democracy means rule of law.
We'll come back to you. Of course, Thomas Conteh, according to the Clerk of Parliament, the law make and clear say they not for debate constitutional instruments they must of course now law them.
Not to
I
the
disagree with
lawmaker
that.
say the intent not to for debate.
well,
However,
no,
if
it's
any
not.
member
You
feels
see?
so passionate, I don't repeat this over and again.
You see.
Make her give me your words back. I said the intent. There are two types
Okay.
of laws what they make. First type of law now bills. Bills, the intent now for debate there. Constitutional and statutory
Not for
instruments,
debate,
the intent not to for make them debater.
What the law say? What in the law say? Now even people them want forget because
Now let
they
me
give it
now
to-
let me make this point.
You know, when I say
we come to you,
intent,
we come to
intent
you.
is quite different from
What the-
what the law actually say. Because look,
wait, would that they determine the intent of the law? Would that they determine
now the court, not to we,
So
not to win a parliament.
you don't judge now according to what they say that they're not for debate or the intent. Not
I
for
said the
debate.
intent. Hey, look, okay, make I give you my words back. There are two types of laws where they pass the parliament. The one get an intent for be debated for may become law. That now bills. The second we call it instruments, either constitutional or statutory instrument. The general intent not to for debate. However, if any member of parliament feels so strong about debating it, they get right for rise.
That now
but
wetin
when they
happen.
rise, if you rise on the correct procedure. If you rise on the wrong procedure, speaker are the only authority in this nation we get right for rule on
Okay.
procedures in parliament.
So Thomas More Conteh, what do you think about the issue of say the intent of the constitutional instrument not for debate and if member of parliament they grab on the right standing order, if not do so it is out of order way according to Clerk that happen we make then constitutional instrument they also therefore can become law.
Yeah, you see, Honorable Paran, the Clerk of Parliament, to be honest with you, now one of the members of Parliament we respect so much, we don't be on in the last dispensation. I say this, I mean, I never say Antoa, because of the guts we get for stand against issues of national concern in the past dispensation. He has been a very vocal personality, very radical in ensuring that things were wrong be corrected. And I admire him for that so much. And that same zest we get, I get into my civil society activism. Because we believe say we for correct the wrongs. Now, if they make allegations that are not be talked during the past dispensation or what have you, let me make this clear for the public. I come into mainstream civil society activism about a year ago. I be there into my academic work studying all this while. I come into mainstream civil society a year ago. And people go agree with me that since I become a civil society activist, there has not been an issue we touch on national concern or raise voice on this country. Now, if you listen to the Honorable Clerk, you go agree with me that he has actually tangled himself on several occasions. And even you didn't also in doubt, and a lot of people out there in doubt as to whether a statutory instrument for be debated or not. At one point in time, it will tell you say statutory instrument not necessarily for be debated. At another point in time, it will tell you say 1/3 of the parliament can able for ask that a statutory instrument be asked out. But me they dare tell people of this country that whatever document or whatever person, whatever policy, treaty, agreement will go inside that sacred house of parliament. Now for let them go discuss someday. May they look into them. You know why parliament they exist? In ancient Greek and Roman city-states, people them be the gather now crowd now court barrier all man the cities they gather for can talk on national on issues they get for their country and communities. But as time they go, people and the population begin get people and for represent them. Now the people and representative therefore talk, therefore add their voice to anything. We go say and for debate issues and anything. Okay. Now, if he as the clerk they say the document not necessarily for be debated, then I want for ask and then why 21 days? Why did they ask for let the document in the parliament for 21 days? And they tell you say there is no reason for that document in the parliament for 21 days. If not to for let them give parliamentarians them the time, the scope and latitude for able to look into that document, they digest the content of it thoroughly, bring out the advantages and disadvantages. And in his statement again, just before he even make the second statement, he said that only the Speaker of Parliament can interpret or can rule on an issue we got for do with that part. The way this thing, the level it reach now, it don't come up now the Speaker hand. When once it don't go to the court, the judiciary, where we all believe say there is a separation of powers. Now, what thing the judiciary go do is the judiciary will definitely look at the standing orders and look at other documents that were related to this issue they talk about and get a ruling on that. So we want people to know that the Supreme Court gets a mandate for look into this issue, and me feel say now one of the best steps that any political party don't take for test the court on the issues there.
Okay,
and we don't look waiting to come out
just
of this.
Look at what people is saying on Facebook. This one also they say, as a Sierra Leonean, most of us support the fight against corruption, but what the SLPP is doing is completely different. This one here, so they say for the Bundu, okay. This one also they say Thomas More Conteh, okay. Well, we look now. We inbox now the face now the phone 981 077. This one also they say, hi Radio Democracy. The current parliament is full of corruption, of which it is it would give birth to it not give birth to a good child. Most Sierra Leoneans will one day. Okay. This one also they say, the constitution and standing orders of parliament very clear on the procedure on constitutional statutory instrument. It is not amended, not intended to be debated, but can only be annulled by 97 members of parliament, which is very difficult to get now by the main opposition party. This one here, so they see Thomas has been hot-tempered since the SLPP regime in this media, but during the past government there was where was he? Okay, this one also they say they allowed Thomas More Conteh and seasoned lawyer. Okay, well, we know they talk on that, we discuss on the issue we get for do with the constitutional instrument. This one I say Radio D, the forceful rule by the SLPP government will one day set Sierra Leone on okay, this one also they say, is the new direction government prepared to make changes to the country or to retaliate on the past government activities? Of course, plenty text message we're not able for read all. We will just come to the Clerk of Parliament for just respond to some, and we try for wrap up the program as we not get much time again inside the program.
Okay, you know, it's just too simple. Me, I always don't tell. Thomas More is a young gentleman. You know, I encourage him for come around Parliament more, for learn the procedures of Parliament. I've said this over and again. Most times, you know, we will the civil society, they become so exorbitant that suddenly the assert we're not correct. You don't understand? Look what they talk now about. You can go to the Supreme Court. Mr. Thomas More, I will beg you, take your constitution, look section 94. May I tell you clearly, no court of the land can inquire into the ruling of the Speaker on Parliament. So I don't even want, you know, Sadia 10 before you they can't talk, put your facts then correct. Put your facts then correct. What Speaker don't give ruling on any procedure on a Parliament, no court of this land. That's not the exception. The Supreme Court get right for interpret the Constitution. But when procedure don't be ruled on a Parliament by the Speaker, no court of this land, no the question into that.
Wow.
That the Constitution not to make up. It was made in 1991.
Please help me.
Correct?
Please help me with the quotation, sir, so that I will learn, please.
Section 94 of the Constitution. Do you have put on that?
Okay, yes, we'll come to that later. Yes, just continue.
Basically, I just want to let you know. Yes, I just want maybe they come around Parliament, yes, so plenty things will be revealed to you. Now, I also ask if the intention not to for debate, why then they lay on 21 days? I don't tell you everything get your own procedure. Because they don't want really the intention not to for debater, then say make him pass into law by laying it for 21 days. It don't mean say if you even say made them debater, if now Speaker agrees say made them debate, that 21 days still they count. In a stop, the standing orders is clear about that. In your procedure, how they become law. You know, like how bill they become law no more. Where you get to go through this reading, that reading, that reading, that reading. This for like become law, they say lay no more for 21 days. So not a thing where you they say wait till make them they lay for 21 days. They lay because now so the procedure say. Full stop, yeah. So therefore, let's just say this. Mr. Moore, I encourage you and many more civil society. I don't tell you now from the first day where they make me clerk work at this radio. Fortunately now first account 98.1. Okay? I tell the public, say parliament is an open parliament under my regime. Anything you want to know about parliament, come to parliament. You, Mr. Glan, are a witness. You come to parliament, my doors are always open and I always talk to you. Come to parliament anything you doubt. You don't understand?
Yes.
So basically,
now that you say, of course, according to the law, the constitutional instruments them for don't be law now, even though you know give the certificate. When you go get the certificate and considering the debate on the BN, all this, one go on for ask if Parliament not go get a rethink for make the member of Parliament debate this constitutional instrument.
that is exclusively reserved for Mr. Speaker. Exclusively, I dey assure you back. The only person we get right for say at the open debate on this or at the overturn this na Speaker. Just like how now the Supreme Court get right for overturn your own decision. Now so now Speaker alone get right for overturn the decision where they take. This na law not to anybody make am, na the Sierra Leone maker. So in effect, Mr. Sidonaya, if na me been there as member of parliament, the ladies are the grab on SO25, they write standing orders and call for a debate. And they call for a debate because it get for change anything. But they call for a debate because of public interest. Okay. So therefore, me they encourage Mr. Moore and the other civil society continue piling pressure on Speaker. Maybe he might have everything. But that not a matter for me for this.
So thank you, Thomas Moore.
Yeah,
less than 1 minute.
No, no, it will be less than 1 minute.
Less than 1 minute. We don't get much time again. We don't get much time again.
I thank God that the clerk.
Yes, we don't get.
I thank God that the clerk. I thank God that the clerk don't begin to give a situation where they go reconsider. You understand? Of course, section 94 where you talk about, not ever make mention of nobody not get the right for pass anything with parliament or the speaker don't pass. There is nowhere in section 94 we say that. Section 94 simply they talk about the powers where parliaments get for make laws, regulate or whatever you look at that. So there is nowhere. Now what we continue for do is for continue for appeal to the clerk now. So because the clerk is very, we all know, this whole country know. That is why I'm very happy that he's here today and I get this kind of discussion with him. He has been very strategic and he has been at the center of everything. 10 years down the line, he will be at the center of being discussed as to how this country don't go forward. He is a young man. Joey Conteh, big pass me, I just shortly. No, you're not too old. Or speaker, you're a young guy.
Yes.
So you cannot indulge.
Civil society tell parliament now.
We want the parliament. If this parliament, we want this parliament for depart from doing things we're not good, from doing things where they go say it happened in the last parliament. This is a new direction. The new direction promised change. The new direction promised a breath of fresh air to the people. And parliament, somebody say if this country for go before, parliament get good for play. And parliament for be seen, they always there in controversy. They always play politics. They always fight themselves. When that happen, it creates a situation where in this country election a one party state within too. And as civil societies, we believe say we're ready for complement the effort of parliament and complement the effort of any institution in this country. We're ready for promote human rights, democracy, and good governance.
Okay, in name now Thomas Moore Conteh, plenty thank you for being part of the program inside Parliament. Before I'm moving get Honorable Paran Tarawali, we now the Clerk of Parliament as they made the talk on the constitutional instruments. Them we according to the Clerk of Parliament is still no get certificate